Welcome to the HPH Buyer's Guide with Steve. I'm going to go through the differences in this helmet specifically and some of the cool options that we can run through and build. I'll explain all of them to you. So first thing first is with this helmet, you're going to notice a retention assembly and it's kind of floating in the helmet. What that enables you to do is tighten up the nape in the back. It's an easy Velcro. You can kind of cinch it up and push you closer to the front of the helmet, or you can loosen it up and you get that relaxed lazy boy effect where you kind of go back and you get a much larger size, fit with that. Another thing to point out would be the magnetic chin strap here that gets tightened up and keeps it nice and tight from falling off your head. And the most important feature would be these cross straps on the inside. I like to refer to them as a trampoline that helps push the ear cups close to your head, keep a nice tight seal, so that way they stay super quiet and you have long-term hearing protection, hopefully. Outside of that, let's go through the options and start to explore this helmet together. Right when you get here, what I like to show is this detail shot. It has a great zoom in, so you can kind of take a peek at these parts a little closer, and then you scroll down, you get this amazing carousel with lots of color examples, and they show different finishes all in a real life, application, so that way there's no guesswork in it. But sometimes you can't get every color, but we can capture it on speeders. This is a really, really amazing chart. Right here you can see that we're dealing with the John Deere yellow in gloss. And I like gloss a lot, especially for the shell, because you can use an automotive wax to polish it and clean it. So that way when you bump your head or you take a hit, that scuff can be removed and you still have a pretty paint job. Some of the other things that you'd see would be the matte finishes. Matte finish is great because you get non-reflectivity in your bubble, and that helps with night vision optics specifically. So that's why a lot of times you see the visor covers in a matte finish and the shells can be gloss. Outside of that, the mattes would require a special cleaner. You don't want to put any wax onto a matte surface because it becomes satin. It kind of looks funny. These right here are hydro dip options, and what they kind of replicate would be a temporary tattoo effect. So we paint the shell, it gets submerged into a hydro dip, and it leaves this amazing carbon fiber finish. This is in a raw version, and actually right here I have an example of a dipped visor cover. So it's a little bit more subtle of the pattern, but it does become a lot more brilliant when it has a gloss finish on it. So it can do it either way for you. Let's get back into to this helmet here, and I want to go over this sizing area here, head circumference. So to do that, you get you a soft measuring tape. I like to start right at the top of my ear, take it straight across my forehead to the other ear, and then back all the way straight around. And if you do that 3 times, you'll get an average, so it can kind of work out any inconsistencies. If you are kind of nervous about this, don't worry about it. Just give me a call up and say, hey Steve, I'm couch surfing my helmet. I kind of have a hot spot starting. Is there anything we can do? Sure, I got you. I'll get you an up or down size liner with a return label, so it's easy and no hassle. We do feature this shell in particular, a regular and a large. And those have different diameters that would qualify you for a regular or a large. So those are all indicated here. Whichever measurement bracket you fall in, you'll make that easy selection, no problem. As we go down, we did cover the dips. We've got an array of colors which are industry standard. We can also hit custom codes like car paint or even airplanes. If you have let's say a fleet doing something all in this sort of motif, we got you. And we talked about the helmet finishes, and then we go right into the visor cover here. So these are the same options. We just kind of want to figure out how you want to, configure the helmet. But with the visor cover, you get to pick your lenses. So clear, gray, or amber, we're happy to, set on the inside or outside, depending on your application. So the inner lens here is real simple. There's a little actuator, and you compress it and slide it down the rail with gravity, and then it locks in place. When you want it out of your face, quickly and safely goes back into the lock. The outer lens is similar but different. It's got a spin dial here, so that loosens the lens up and it travels down the track. And then I would say tighten that up so it stays put until you're done and it goes back. Super easy. It's not mechanical, so if you need to make a fix, we can sell you the parts and kind of walk you through it if you need, so you don't have to send it in. We're moving into night vision. So night vision options. All right, this is featuring a non-NVG visor cover. See how the plate there's bare, there's no holes in it? That means it's what it is, non-NVG. But if we need to move into it, we're going to go ahead and slide up this other helmet really fast and show you what the plate looks like. So this is our quick release plate, and you put your anvis in there, and when you're done, you push it in the button, releases the anvis, and you're all set and ready to go for day flying. And the other feature that we have is back on my yellow helmet here. This is a new product that I'm really a big fan of. This is our adjustable NVG battery mount for the back of the helmet. And if you need to hit a specific brand's battery pack, you just loosen these 2 set screws, and you can slide the interior of this up and down, tighten up, and this little arm will grab pretty much any of those battery packs, so it's secure. You get off a shift and you won't have to worry about that thing sliding around or falling off. Let's keep cruising. How about we jump over here to impedance, because impedance has to do with your microphone. So we're going to kind of go around here and I'm going to explain this. This would be a civilian microphone. We use Dave Clark M7 standard. And that would be right here on a rail. Now, let's say that you wanted to go to the military side of things, or you're going to switch around, because that happens more common than just one. What we would do is we would select military or civilian in that case, but you're going to need a dual impedance selector. And on this helmet, it's a really cool inner cup feature. You could choose it right here. When they say helmet mounted, we went one step further and we put it into the cup. So this is sort of a little different, but it's the same option. So I want you to understand when you're selecting this is going to go low impedance, and then it clicks up to high. And this integrates directly into the communications that are in the helmet. So all you do is flick and swap your helmet, swap your aircraft, and you're going to be communicating just fine. So that's going to be tied into over here, the impedance. So whatever you're selecting, if you need to modulate, this is the ticket for it. And it will feature a low impedance microphone if that's the case. Amplifies it up to 300. The other option that you're seeing here, okay, we said this is on a wire rail boom. We have flex booms, and the flex boom is going to be on my Silver Lightspeed helmet here. And we feature a David Clark half rail, half flex. It's a very strong boom. You might only need to tighten up that little flathead every so often, not very much, but it gives you a great mobility. And my favorite thing about it is that when you're taking the helmet on and off, a wire rail could, damage your eyeball, or it could even scratch your paint up. And as you can see here, this has a nice rubber that protects you, and nothing to stab you and nothing to scrape your helmet. So for 70 bucks, this is my favorite upgrade by far. When you're looking at these microphone options though, the M5 is probably gonna be our primary that we always use, and it's also a hybrid mic, and the M2 is a low impedance version of it. So if you were to select this boom and get the M5 and you wanted to do a dual impedance setup, you simply just remove the sock, and with no tools, you can swap out the M5 for the M2, creating a low impedance environment, which is my favorite way to do it. Some of the other options, they're going to be static like the M87, and you'll see here 5, 75, and 150. Depending on where you're at in the world, that's important, and it could make or break your communication. So definitely check with your avionics people if you're going to be international, because you want to know that so you can communicate when you're in the sky. Then let's move into, well, we'll do this mic light thing really quick, because that's just a simple option, and I have that set up on my yellow helmet. So we're going to swap out again. Hey, what's up, yellow helmet? Right here is our mic light. And what this basically is a way to illuminate during night operations. And since your hands are totally busy keeping you alive, you simply kiss it with your lips, and it turns it on. And when you're done, off it goes. So don't worry, it's not shy. And then when you get into the next options here, let me say ML8, ML14, those are our most popular mic lights. If you go to our mic light section, there's a whole array of different colors and options to get, even red. Let's see here. So we're going to go into communications next. This is going to tie into how we're hearing and speaking. Right now we're going to deal with a passive. So passive would be option pigtail. This is great for egress. So if you need to get out really quickly, you're submerged, pull it and go. And that's going to save you time from having to maybe cut it or have it sort of getting in the way of you getting out. We offer a coiled version of a connector and a straight version of a connector, and we can terminate it in any plug type you like. So GA twin, Heli single, or even the Limo. Excuse me. We can do an add volume control to the cable. That's my favorite way to do volume control because it's one less fail point. The bean of it is on the connector. So it's be like right here, just turn it up, turn it down, versus it being helmet mounted, which is great because it's there and it's static, but it is a fail point. So that's why I suggest it on the cord. And if the cord ever was to, let's say, get sheared off in the door, or you lose it, you can simply call us up or go online and order a replacement, get it overnighted, and you're back to work. Super simple. I think that staying with the communication system is important here, so let's keep it in the family. We're going to stay with passive, actually. So the CP would be additional hearing protection on top of what we offer, and that's one of my most favorite ways to go about it because it's an inner ear protection. The simple version that we have is a CP. So you get this baggie out of here and pull this part out. So the first thing we deal with is a CP interface only. We take this, we get it into the helmet here, and it basically creates a port that you can plug in, sort of a basic earbud. They're soft foam, and they're easy to replace. Just screw them on. And what that's going to do is prevent basically frequency from entering your ear canal and making you go deaf. And this is the starter step. So if you purchase this, you can upgrade it to the complete kit, which will give you the wire that connects to it, the earbuds to put in. But if we go down to the pace kit here, this one, $435, you're going to get the interface, and you're going to get this entire bundle. And what this bundle does is creates the next level of hearing protection for you. You're going to go to an audiologist when you select this option. They're going to do the deep ear impression for you, and they're going to supply you with the physical mold of it. And you're just going to put it in this envelope that's addressed and prepaid, send it to the company, and maybe a few weeks you'll get back your custom silicone ear molds that you're going to wear and plug in, the wire to here. And that's going to be the highest level of inner ear, protection that can be offered. It's a fantastic system. It doesn't break. You got really no problems and complaints. And if you do, we'll take care of it. So the next level up, and I say that because it's really the price point and also a kind of fork in the road, would be A&R. That's automatic noise reduction. We have some options here. So let me get the other helmet that features it and I'll show you what it looks like. So we have moved into a Lightspeed HMod primary installation of A&R, and this has been a great product. We've been selling it for over 2 years, and I have 0 customer complaints as far as what I can tell. I get great feedback, and it's also been made to put into the helmet, and that's a big point to make. I want to just touch on this. Install my personal A20 that I'm mailing in. The A20 is a discontinued headset. They have moved to an A30, but the A20 is something that if you have one, you can send it in with your order, and we'll integrate that into the HPH. It's a very robust HD installation, but there are no warranty options for it. So once it's in, if anything happens, just to be upfront, we have to go from there. But the Zulu HMod is a 3-year warranty for $1,250. So the price point and the support sort of trumps anything that I can, say about the Bose, because when they go out, they're expensive to replace. But this for $1,250 has my favorite feature is these triangular ear seals. That creates a stability on a skull that the Bose in a helmet has trouble achieving. It creates a stable platform which results in less artifacts, squeals, pops, hisses, and interference that can drive you crazy when you're stuck, 1,000 feet in the air. So to me, that's a superior ear seal because of the stability, and it has nice deep wells. Another feature is that it's the mask helmet, because that's our first option here. So the maxillo face shield, whatever face shield, is going to come in a standard matte black. But if you want to upgrade a little bit, we can paint match it to the shell, anything you want to do. And it's great for basically open door environments where the wind's blasting you, especially if it's cold. It's going to protect that microphone from that loud sound. And it's also going to keep your face protected from any kind of, let's say, things that could hit it. So that's another added advantage to safety. We like that. Let's talk about these oxygen receivers here. So what I've got is a set of bayonet receivers. We can put them on for you, but it's important that, I have a mask. So if you have the mask, Aerox, different brands, you can send it in with the helmet. We'll go ahead and get your fit on there and apply these to it. So that's a super easy upgrade. That's going to create high altitude environments or, different gas intrusion that you don't have to, worry about because you're breathing clean air. Let's see here. We did the dual impedance selector, so we talked about that. Skull cap. This is one of my favorite things. Let's talk about this skull cap here. This is like head underwear. If you're like me and you're going dancing, you'd always wear a pair of underwear because jeans create sweat and they're nasty. And then later on, that's not so cool. So if you were to put one of these bad boys on your head, you're going to create a layer of absorption before it gets into the actual memory foam liner here and starts stinking, and it gets festering with bacteria. And if you watch my cleaning video, it'll show you exactly how to kind of keep that fresh and downy smelling nice, which I'm a big fan of. And this is the big, it's a big helper as far as what I see, especially if you're dealing with fleet helmets. That's the last thing I want to put in my head is somebody's, sweat or, grime. So this is a protective layer for you. I'd say buy a couple of them, keep them in your helmet bag, wash them with your, laundries, and you'll always have a very hygienic interior. And it's a great upgrade for only $25. The next one is the Blue Link. So Blue Link's pretty simple. It basically creates a Bluetooth connection with your phone, which is featured in the HMod, but it runs through the passive system. So to me, that's a lot more affordable if you, are looking to save some money, but you still want to jam out or talk on the phone. Grab a Blue Link, choose your, plug type so we don't have any interaction problems. The last one here is a Cena 50R. If you know anything about motorcycles, you kind of know that that's the premier system for mesh communication. And that's what they feature is if you have a group of people working together, that frequency ties together and lets you all speak at the same time, communicate. So if you're doing utility work and you've got a ground crew or you're, maybe even doing police work, you might be able to communicate with different, people in your group that you need to speak to, but not want to be on a radio and being heard. So it's a private way to communicate. And I think that it's got its niche. Some of these other options are pretty standard. We do name lettering on the back. It's out there. You can do any color you want pretty much with our vinyl options, which we have tons of them. Let's see here. Oh, bags. Black, royal blue, or OD kind of sage green. They have like a slightly shiny what do they call it? Nylon. Yeah, like a nylon kind of a bag. And I think that you'll get You get plenty of use out of it. It's got pockets, all kinds of things to keep your stuff in there, so you can kind of jump around to different places and have all your things in one nice place. It comes with a helmet sock too. Last option. This is the crown liner thickness. This is super important. I get asked this tons of times. Well, which one do I need? It's going to be based off the measurement that we talked about in the very beginning of this. And this kind of gives you a quick jump to if you already know what your measurement is and you just want to go from there and get what you want, because everybody's a little different. Some people like to wear it a little thinner and some people like to wear it thicker. And I want to explain that to you. So if you have a bigger head, you would want to get the thinner measurement. So the bigger you are, the thinner that you go. So 1/8 is going to be as thin as we go. 1/4, you're in the XL range. 3/8 large. And then you start getting into 1/2 inches, they get thicker. So the smaller your head is, the thicker the pad gets. We go all the way up to a 5/8 thickness. And if you don't know, just apply that measurement and we'll have a conversation after if it's not comfortable. And I think that when you come through these pages, you will have a lot of questions that are answered. And if you don't, let me know and we can add to the video. And I hope you had a great time, because I had a better time. And I hope to see you on the next one.